Sources close to Jadon Sancho believe the move to Manchester United is closer than ever before. A bid is expected between now and the beginning of the Euros in the region of 80 to 85 million pounds for the Borussia Dortmund winger to join Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men at Old Trafford next season. The same reports tell us that Man United are still in pole position, regardless of links to clubs like Liverpool, Chelsea, and Bayern Munich over the course of the last week. Manchester United is the preferred destination as it stands right now of Jadon Sancho. The deal moves ever closer. We're going to go into that with you now in more detail. Make sure you hit that like button, that share button, subscribe to the Football Terrace. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. The Jadon Sancho saga dominated the 2020 summer transfer window, and it doesn't actually appear right now that it's going to be the same this year. Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United, along with the player, all three parties appear destined to try to get this deal done before the Euros. They want to get this over the line. They don't want a prolonged saga and drawn-out media negotiations as we saw over the course of the summer of 2020. Of course, it was a very abnormal summer transfer window because of the delay to the end of the 2019-20 season. We kind of had the transfer window and the end of the campaign and beginning of the new campaign almost amalgamated together. So it felt like a bigger mess than usual at Old Trafford. But big reports, namely from Dean Jones, along with some other outlets, have suggested that Manchester United are in pole position. They're the preferred destination of Jadon Sancho. A bid has been negotiated between intermediaries and Manchester. It's official that there has been no direct negotiations between Dortmund and Manchester United, but intermediaries have been involved. The Glazers have sanctioned a move and will allow up to £85 million to be spent in terms of the purchase price, the fee for Jadon Sancho. That matches what Borussia Dortmund want. The only way this deal doesn't happen now is if Manchester United mess about. If Manchester United are essentially not serious. If Manchester United delay their bid, try to slash 5 million, 6 million, 7 million pounds off the top. This deal looks set to be done, dusted, over, and finished. That, for me, as a Man United fan, is exciting, but I still sit there and feel a slight air of trepidation, a slight air of concern, because we know how poorly we behave in the transfer market, or we have done over the last 8 or so years. But Manchester United are in pole position to land Jadon Sancho. That's coming from one of the best football journalists and transfer experts in the world, Dean Jones. He spoke about this 4 or 5 days ago. This has now been backed up from multiple outlets, from multiple people, such as Christian Falk, such as Fabrizio Romano, and multiple outlets that we'll delve into in a few moments. So to reiterate, Man United are in pole position, the leading club in this race. They've discussed with intermediaries, so essentially discussed with Borussia Dortmund what the fee would be, and Man United and Dortmund have come to an arrangement. United still need to submit the bid. The bid hasn't come in yet. Jadon Sancho's preferred destination is Manchester United, and we'll get into why it's Manchester United a little bit later. The only thing holding this deal up is Man United submitting their bid. Dortmund don't want any bids to come in officially until the end of the campaign. Of course, they're still fighting hard to make it into the top 4. Man United have a final to focus on. So it's expected this is to happen fairly swiftly at the end of the season, because both Man United and Borussia Dortmund, along with Jadon Sancho, want this deal done before the Euros kicks off. So the first balls kicks on the 11th of June. But of course, the teams go away for their camps prior to that. So there is almost a week window where some experts believe this deal could be done. Or that's when Man United have been told we want the deal done by. Will Man United do it or not? That is the very, very big question as far as I'm concerned. And I'm one of these people that sort of looks at this, and I'm very skeptical of the way we behave as a football club. I'm very concerned with the way we behave as a football club in the transfer market, but there is an opportunity here. There is a genuine opportunity to get this job done, to get this deal over the line, and also to get it done early, get it out the way, take that pressure off of the backs of the management. In terms of the remainder of this deal, what Dean Jones just said here, he says Jadon Sancho's potential transfer to Man United is now more likely than ever. He goes on to say, however, new deals for Eric Bailly and Edinson Cavani may mean that no bids for high-profile central defenders or strikers happen during this summer. It's always important to get that into our heads here. You know, Dean Jones has already confirmed to us that the likes of Declan Rice, as it stands, with the price they want, too expensive. Any kind of signing, barring Jadon Sancho, over that £40 million mark is seemingly going to be too high this summer. Rafael Varane at 40 million, if that's doable, could get over the line. So it isn't so much about the profile of the player, it's the profile coupled with the money. Got a super chat that's come through here that says, wanted Sancho Grealish at Chelsea. Last 2 games proves why a maverick like Hazard is important. He could do something out of nothing. It's not always just goals and assists. Well, that's something about Jadon Sancho, which I think as a Man United fan, I'm encouraged by, because he's that. He's a brilliant team player, a wonderful system player. You have to be at Dortmund, but he's also got the ability for those individual moments of brilliance. And that is where you know you've got a dangerous player, someone that can fit a system, can adapt to different roles and positions, but equally has those moments, that X factor to change a game, to turn a game on its head at any given moment. Any given moment. A few people asking, has a bid been submitted? No, a bid hasn't been officially submitted at this time. Very rarely a bid submitted at this stage of negotiations. Man United have had conversations, as I say, with the intermediaries. Let's actually read this part out here for you in relation to what's been said. I want to make sure I get this right. So the sum of roughly 90 million euros converts into 85 million pounds. But at the moment, there is a feeling amongst the intermediaries involved in the transfer that United's initial offer will be somewhere in the region of 65 to 75 million. But experts believe that Borussia Dortmund will accept this. That will change, though. So this is why the bid hasn't gone in yet. There is essentially 2 things going on here. If Dortmund make the champion, Jadon Sancho can be sold with or without Champions League football. Without Champions League football, there is a belief that Man United can pick the transfer up for between 65 and 75 million. If they make the Champions League, it is going to be 80 to 85 million pounds. Dortmund are going to demand more money. They won't be as desperate for the cash because Champions League qualification means an extra 40, 50 million pounds a year in their coffers. So the qualification is a real key part, which is why no formal bid will happen. They're going to wait until the end of the season. So at this point, don't stress that there's no bid, but just know that Man United are in pole position. Man United and Dortmund have said they want the deal done quickly. Jadon Sancho wants Man United and wants the deal done quickly. The only thing that stops this deal, Joel Glazer, by the way, is sanctioned up to £85 million to be spent on this player. The only way this goes wrong is if Man United do a madness and change their mind. If for what, I don't know what the reason would be. I can't even fathom why. But if it comes down to it, it's bid day. And Joel Glazer says, actually, no, we want to go for Rafinha instead. Actually, no, we want to give Jesse Lingard another chance. The only way this fails is with Glazer-nomics. That is it, point blank. Aside from that, it can't fail. It can't fail at this point. Everything points to Manchester United. If Man United lose out, it's the biggest, it's an ostrich egg on your face. It's an embarrassment if Man United don't get in from this point. That's my view. Every expert, every journalist you speak to, all roads lead to Manchester United. Are Chelsea an option? Not really. They don't have a position within their squad for him, and Dortmund want to get the deal done quickly. There's no way between now and the Euros, Chelsea are resolving their issues if they wanted Sancho in relation to who goes, who stays. Can't be sorted that quickly. Liverpool have to sell somebody big or a multitude of players before they can afford it. That's not happening before the Euros. Bayern Munich can't afford him. And he doesn't want to stay abroad. He wants to come back to the UK. Man United are beyond in pole. It's not even in pole position. We're the only people on the track. If Man United don't land Jadon Sancho, It's the equivalence of me coming second in a beauty competition when I'm the only one who entered. The ultimate embarrassment. There's a comment here that says, as a City fan, I want United to buy Sancho so we get 40% of the sell-on clause rather than see him go for free to United. We could use that for Haaland. That's also, I didn't realize that clause existed, but if it does, that's a nice little bit of business there. Make sure you get your super. By the way, yesterday's evening show, nobody guessed who my man of the match was from the cup final. I gave it to young Thomas. I thought he had a really slow start to the game, but he's a youngster who's inexperienced, and he grew into that game, and he had a brilliant defensive performance. And I know that people would say Schmeichel's save, Tielemans for his goal, Fofana was brilliant, but I just thought young Thomas, an unknown player to the majority of world football, stepped up in a final and delivered massively. So that's who I gave it to. One person, I want to read his name, Aston. Aston guessed it right. Sorry, I just didn't announce it was. So Aston, if you're watching, I have got your username, but no details. Reach out to me, send me a DM, and we'll get you a Premier League shirt of your, or a football shirt of your choice, ordered and delivered to you. So congratulations to you, my friend. Get your super chat questions into me this morning. Yeah, listen, is a Leicester fan who says good choice, and I thought it was a good choice after the way he performed. I thought he did very, very well indeed. A lot of people saying it's only 15% the sell-on clause. Listen, 15%, whatever it is, they're going to earn a bunce or two out of this one, there's no doubt. We're going to open up the lines as well now for you to have your say. We want to talk Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. The deal is getting closer. It's closer than ever before. I can't fathom a reason why Man United are not going to sign him now. There isn't one. If we don't get him, it's not rejection from the player. It's just acting like a broke club. It's acting like a small club. It's not having the mentality to get yourselves over that line. For me, I would be fundamentally embarrassed from this. Like, do you know what? If we lose out to, if we're linked to this summer, we're looking at Rafael Varane. If we go in for Varane and Chelsea go in for Varane and he picks Chelsea over us, I'm annoyed. I'm not embarrassed. I'm really not embarrassed about it. However, if we're the only ones in for Sancho and we still don't land it, it's calamitous. A few people tweeting about it. Yes, Fabrizio Romano has said that David Luiz, along with Willian, is expected to leave Arsenal this summer. Wow, Willian is listen, I'm not surprised that Willian is expected to leave. It's been shocking. Shocking. It's been shocking. Like, legitimately, it's one of the worst pieces of business. One of the worst pieces of business I have ever seen in my life. Legitimately. We're going to go to your calls now. I'm going to share the link. I normally do it on the Discord server. I'm not going to do it on Discord today. I will do it on the Discord server. So get yourself across to the server right now. To get you, I'm going to put it in the category that's been created for it by my moderators, by the way. I think we're about 5 people short of 3,000 users on there as well right now. About 3 or 4 people short. So I'm going to share it in the StreamYard call-in link section. I'm going to put it in there right about now. You won't be able to miss it. Go in there and get it. Give us a call. Terry, is it true? No, I'm not reading that one out. Willian is finally going. It does appear so. It does appear so. Just a terrible signing. Hassi here says Sancho is coming to Liverpool. He isn't. He just is. He is not going to Liverpool Football Club. It's not happening at all. It really isn't. Jadon Van der Sancho. Van der Sar was a good player. I don't know if that's meant to be a knock or not, because Van der Sar was a brilliant player. Are you trying to do a... Oh, you doing Van der Beek? Sorry, I didn't pick up on that. That's terrible. So when I think Vander, I think of Edwin. I don't think of Donny. Whoops-a-doops-a-daisy. First on the show, my guy, my brother is here. KJ, welcome back, mate.
Yo, you are definitely going in with these graphics, bro. Okay. We see you, my brother. We see you. Nice work.
they look all right, innit? They look all right.
Not too bad, not too bad. Could be spruced up here and there, but don't worry about that. We got a snap media to help us with that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, what do you make of this story, mate?
We're here again, bruv. This should be called the Sancho Terrace, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Every summer.
I can't help the news cycle. It is what it is.
Yo, Terry, you should get banned or something for all the clickbait you've been doing over the years, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? For a clickbait king, you're not too bad, apparently. I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I chatted to Ben on WhatsApp. I was like, cheers for that. Appreciate it. But it's
promising signs, though.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Promising signs. I've said my piece on Jadon Sancho and how we need to get it done quickly. It's opportunity, second chance, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to talk about that. I want to talk about why. Everyone in the chat, what's up, people? I see you all. Good morning to you all. You know what I'm saying? Good morning to all those who've won the FA Cup. You know what I'm saying? Well done. Congratulations in that. Man like Georgie in the chat every day. But yeah, I want to talk about why it's actually a good move for him. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, why would he choose Manchester United over Liverpool or Chelsea or Man City or Madrid or whatever? Man United have a spot on the right-hand side, and we have had that spot for years now. If you want to be semantic about it, we've had that spot open since Ronaldo left. So he, just fills in that spot straight away. You don't have to worry about competing. You don't have to worry about, but this player's on X amount of money, so he has to also play before you. No, you are the guy. We're putting our faith in you to be our right winger for the next 5 to 10 years. 2, the way that we play, people like to bag on it all the time, say it's freestyle football, it's not fluid, it's just crap. But recently, all I've been seeing is, but our system's too rigid. We need some mavericks in there. We need some players who can do what they want and have the freedom to do as they please. Jadon Sancho is that kind of player, and we have a system that allows that to happen. He's not going to be restricted to, you have to be here X point at X time while the ball is in zone Z. You know what I mean? Like, he will have the freedom to express himself like he's had at Dortmund, to do the tricks, to do the flicks, but also get the assist and the goals. So it's a perfect place for him. Number 3, that just a platform that he'll have. He wants to be a world star. Where else can you do that other than Manchester United? You got your Madrids, you've got your Barcas, but Manchester United is next to those when it comes to world star players, as in the big names, the big stages where you can make your name for yourself. Mane and Salah have done amazing things, but if they were at Man United doing what they're doing, they would even have more praise. They'd have even more praise and recognition, because that's how big we are. We've got the platform for young players, or young up-and-coming players, to achieve their potential and become great and get that world status that they're looking for. So Jadon Sancho and Manchester United are a match made in heaven. Yo, is that lady for? Oh, she fell over. Is she okay?
She's fine.
Oh, hi, Lady Freya. Nice for you to stop by.
Yeah, daddy by himself today. So yeah, it's all good. Just do what you got to do, Freya.
Literally, she just comes in and takes what she wants, and she's the one that rules the house. But yeah, like we're a match made in heaven for Jadon Sancho, and if he's part of the rebuild, if he's part of the team that brings United big success again, then he'll go down as a legend, and I think he wants that. From all the reports that you've heard about him, about his character and what he's like, he wants that. So Manchester United can give it to him. Obviously, we've got other things to sort out as well, but it is there for him if he wants to take it.
Mate, I couldn't agree with you more. I think for me, when I look at this deal, that's exactly what's in my mind. It fits because we're in a position for him and vice versa. And, you know, we mentioned earlier, Liverpool and Chelsea have shown interest in him. Top transfer experts have spoken about that. They've said that. They've been very candid with that information. But Man United are in a position to go for him now, to put the bids in for him now, as opposed to waiting. That's where my frustration would kick in if Chelsea or if Liverpool or somebody sort of came into our slipstream and took him away from us, because we're the front runners. To lose out on him from this point would be the ultimate embarrassment, in my opinion. And him as a player, we do have this opportunity, you know, and whether it's with Ollie or the next person, because there will be a manager after Ollie, because that's just life. That's going to happen. No one's staying for 20, 30 years anymore. He's at a great age to join this squad. And I think we're getting towards a very good, I think we've got a very good, strong 11, 12 players at the front end of our squad. We've got to bolster out the quality to make us deeper. But he comes in on that right-hand side, and you just look at him with Pogba's, with Rashford's, with Greenwood's coming through, Cavani staying for another year, AWB behind him on that right-hand side, Luke Shaw that's come of age now on the left. We've got some really talented players, and I think if he comes in and performs for us how he has done at Borussia Dortmund, where I have faith in that is that the approach that we have taken as a club in terms of buying players during Ollie's time, invariably the signings have worked. They've come in and delivered to the same sort of degree for us as they were doing prior at their previous clubs, or maybe even higher. When you look at someone like Bruno Fernandes, who nobody expected him to maintain his performance levels, in the Premier, he's done that, and broken Frank Lampard's record as the highest goal scoring Premier League midfielder ever
in a single season.
In a single season, yes, that's what I meant. Yeah. So it's impeccable, and I agree with you. We are a match made in heaven. We all know. I'm not going to expose the person that told this to us, but as she was saying the other day, she knows people that know Jadon Sancho, Man United. The only way we don't get him, and I'll use her words, is if we're not serious. If we don't put that bid in, if we don't capitalize on the situation we find ourselves in, then it could go wrong.
Yeah, and that's the one worry you have with Manchester United. You never know what Man United you're going to get in the transfer window. You always expect the worst to happen because of who we are as a club. But if we get this done, that'd be good. I've seen a load of people in the chat, salty Liverpool fans, saying, he's going Liverpool. Why would you go United? Blah blah blah. Bruv, listen, Liverpool. Yeah, your team right now is very good, and it needs some improvements. But you, man, need to sell Salah or Mane to fund their transfer for Jadon Sancho. Do you know how long that will take? That will take potentially all summer if that was going to happen, because there's no guarantee that either of them leave anyway. So if that's going to take all summer, Dortmund want Sancho.
Yeah.
Before the Euros. That's 3 weeks away. You ain't selling Mane or Salah in 3 weeks and then agreeing a deal with Jadon Sancho and Dortmund in 3 weeks. That ain't happening. So the only way that Liverpool get him is if Man United protrude this thing so long that he says no to us, and then towards the end of the summer you sign him. Chelsea, they've got so many wingers, and again, they would need to offload, not because they don't have the money, but just for squad space. They would need to offload players to make sure he can guarantee a spot. So this is lined up for Man United. All you fans in the comments and that, bruv, stop being sweaty and salty, bruv, and just accept the fact that he's most likely going to join Manchester United. It just is what it is.
And that's absolutely it. Where it is right now, at this point right now, that is where we are. And there is no getting away from that. And it's not even about being disrespectful. It's just the way it is. Now, if Man United do what Man United have done in the past, drag our heels. If we try and get cute and get the price down by an extra, Glazonomics, let's try and get, we've got it down to 80 million. Let's try and get it down another 5. If we do that and we prolong it and we miss deadlines and we go through the Euros, especially Jadon Sancho, which I think, I'm so looking forward to the Sanchos. We're going to be doing an England squad picking session next week on the terrace, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited about seeing the Sanchos, the Grealishes, the Fodens at the Euros. But if any of these boys ball out, that could then leave us in a situation where the price goes up. So you might try and, let's try and save 5 million and wait till after the Euros. You might have an average tournament or whatever, and we can get more we can get less for him. But you might, for me, it's a case of let's not hedge our bets any further. Let's get it done. Let's get it over the line, and let's ensure that Liverpool and Chelsea and any other rivals across Europe that fancy this super talented young man come absolutely nowhere near landing it. Listen, KJ, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. And we'll chat to you again soon. Top man.
Yeah, thank you. Man. See you in a bit.
Thank you. Next up, we're going to have Fixer on the show. Fixer, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Yo, hi. Yeah, I just wanted to say, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, in regards to Jadon Sancho, from the reports I'm hearing, is about 85 million, to secure his signature. So, I mean, I think that's a fair deal for the lad. However, we have to bear in mind that there are other parts of the team that we have to fix, with as a matter of urgency. I think we need a new centre back as well, center defensive midfield. If we can get all this with Sancho, then you never know, things could actually work out. But if we just get Sancho, then I think it's just a case of repeating the same old mistakes, because we're bringing in a player who's not going to be on the same wavelength with what we have. We don't have enough players like him. Who are at that level, who can all like synergize together. So we need to get a couple of more players. Upgrade the rest of the team as well, and then get Sancho, and I think we'll have a bit of a balance in the team, to be honest.
Yeah, of course, more's needed than Jadon Sancho, but there are very few. The reason I think he's so important is there are very few attacking players who are right-sided, primary side right on the right, that we could actually bring into Manchester United of his level, in the sense of a lot of the other individuals that can play that role are already at rival clubs. To his standard, I'm talking about, but the level of output he has is almost like, it's unprecedented at his age and at his.
What do you think of Vinicius Junior?
What?
Vinicius Junior at Real Madrid. What do you think about him? Let's just assume like the whole Sancho thing collapses. Like, what do you think about Vinicius?
Are you serious?
I'm just actually, I just put it out there. I'm not saying we should get him instead of Sancho. I'm just saying, let's just assume, like, you don't think he'll be a good fit for United?
No. Why would he be, bro? Why? What does he do? What is
He can play he can play on the right and on the left as well.
He's not better than Rashford on the right, and Rashford's trash on the right.
Oh, come on, you can't say he's not better than Rashford. I'm not saying it either ways. I'm just putting it out there, so everybody.
Come on, Fixer. Like,
I'm just saying.
Why are you trolling me this morning?
I'm not trolling. I'm just saying. Let's just say the whole Jadon Sancho thing. Let's just because with United, you have to think of the worst scenario. I told you the last time I called, right, that whole Leicester reserve team was bullshit, and look at what happened. With United, you just have to expect the worst case scenario. It is what it is. You can be positive what you want, but we have to just expect that they might bottle the whole Jadon Sancho thing. So I'm just giving you options. Like, what do you think about Vinicius Junior?
I'd rather keep Dan James
than Vinicius Junior.
Yes. Not because I think Dan James is better than Vinicius Junior. I just don't see the point. I'd rather go for Rafinha. I'd rather go for, I know Neto's injured. I'd rather wait for Neto to be fit. I don't know if he's still playing football. I'd rather what was that flop? The Brazilian who signed for Man City from Real Madrid. Robinho. I'd rather go get him at his age. I don't care. What is he, 40 now?
Vinicius is come on.
Vinicius is absolutely.
You just don't watch a lot of La Liga games. That's why.
He doesn't do. What does he do? What does he do?
He contributes.
What does he do?
He has a good passing range. He can put a ball in the box. He can score goals as well. He scores quite a few goals as well.
Has he?
Yeah, he scored in the last Champions League game, not the last one, the one before that.
Yeah, I know he scored 2 goals against Liverpool, and what made me laugh is even Real Madrid fans were bantering Liverpool, saying, "You're so bad, Vinicius Junior scored against you." Like, that's his own fans saying that. That's why. Yeah, come on, bro. Listen, as I say, like is he predominantly right-sided?
No, he's really left side, but he can play right side as well. He's good on both sides.
He's nowhere near Rashford's. Rashford is like. Rashford's better than him. I'm not going to say light years, but Rashford's better than him and he's Premier League proven. So I don't see any point of that one, mate, myself, personally. I really don't. Listen, mate, thank you for coming on the show. You just don't like Jadon Sancho, do you?
No, it's not that. It's not that. See, let me tell you, I actually like him a bit much. I don't want him to come to United, right, and store like the rest of the other like Memphis DP and all these guys. Like KJ was saying, United is like a platform, yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, a lot of young talent who are prospect have come here and and made their ruins. So I don't want that to happen to the kid. I would love if Jadon Sancho went to Real Madrid or went to a team that's already, or Man City, a team that's already prospering, and he just slot him in and he continues to prosper with them. I don't think he can come to United and drag us from where we are to where we need to be. Not just him alone. That's my.
I do hear that. I don't think he needs to drag us. I don't think he needs to drag us from a position to that. I think he's part of a team that's going to move us forward. I don't believe in this dragging notions. I think people put too much weight on one player being the reason you're moving forward.
It's not gonna happen. We tried it with Bruno. After a couple of years, they're gonna bring in the attitude they brought from their former team. But after a couple of years, they get diluted with the whole Man United lazy ass mentality, and they start receding. It just happened way too many times for it to just be PTSD, as somebody said. It's more of history repeating itself and precedents, really.
I do hear that. Listen, Fixer, thanks for coming on, mate, this morning and having your say. Speak to you soon, buddy. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, Jadon Sancho's transfer from Borussia Dortmund is edging closer. As we said earlier on in the stream, reports from people close to Jadon Sancho believe the deal to Man United is closer than it's ever been before. Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United both want this deal done and completed before the beginning of Euro 2020, although it's been held in 2021, in case any of you are confused about that. A bid between 80 to 85 million pounds is believed to be the acceptable price. Man United have been talking to intermediaries. So the reports that there have been no direct negotiations between the clubs is true, but the intermediaries are the reasons why that's a fact, but it basically becomes semantics. If you're talking via an intermediary, you're still talking. It just isn't direct. Do me a favor this morning, ladies and gentlemen, and please hit that like button right now. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Turn on the bell notifications as well. We want your take and views on this transfer story. Now, what I'm doing with every single transfer story this summer is rating it. I'm giving it a credibility rating out of 5, and is in where the information has come from. And we're also going to give it a likelihood of happening. On a scale of 1 to 10 of it happening, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I'm very confident based on who is saying this is close, that it's going to happen. And on credibility, I'm giving this story a 4.5 out of 5. It's come from too many credible sources, from too many moments in time over the past week. It's very likely to happen, in my opinion. But I want your ratings on this. How likely out of 10 do you think it's going to happen? And how credible do you feel are these sources across the mainstream media that are giving us this information today? I want to know right now. Hit that like and that share button. Next caller. And by the way, I test, who says here, Terry, you're overrating Rashford. The only reason I brought Rashford into the conversation is because Fixer suggested signing Vinicius Jr., who primarily plays on the left. In my opinion, Rashford is better than him. Vinicius might have some better skills, but it ain't about the skills. We're not playing in the park. We're not playing knockouts. We're not on, freestylefootball.com. This is professional football where winning is important, outputs are important. And to suggest that Vinicius Jr. is a better footballer than Rashford right now would be the worst take I've ever heard in my life. Next on the show, we're going to go to Daniel. Daniel's an Arsenal fan. What do you want to say, bro?
You all right, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. What do you want to say, buddy?
Oh, I just want to say about Willian. A good riddance that he's leaving. And the players that I've heard are leaving, Xhaka, Bellerin, Luiz, Willian. It's good news, but at the same time, I'm not too bothered who's leaving because who's coming in, because this manager's not going to get the best out of anybody. So it's just a bit like 50-50, do you know what I mean? Because name me one player this manager's got the best out of, Terry. I can't think of one.
He's done well with. I think he's done well with Saka. I think he's done well with Emil Smith Rowe. I think he's done well with them, if that makes sense. I think they've progressed under him nicely. I do hear your point about not being overly excited because you're not happy with the manager. I would say forget that notion. So I heard I listened to a Man United fan on YouTube the other day, a Man United fan I respect massively, but he had a take which I just thought was wild, where he basically said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that what's the point of signing Sancho because Ollie's going to be managing him? And my view is just, I want my club to have the best players possible because our managers, we lose or draw, are not going to be here forever. So if we've got inadequate managers, then you should want the best players possible for the individual moments of
Sorry,
brilliant.
Ted, can I interrupt quickly? The thing is
Go on.
the thing is with Ollie, yes, he's not a very good tactical manager, but the thing is, I think his only strength is his man management. I think players you can see want to play for him. You see how Paul Pogba talks about him. Like, I think there's a bit of togetherness in that squad. But with this manager, there's a few people that are actually in the squad that don't like him. There's not togetherness. I don't think people want to actually play for him, because I've heard apparently there's a few players in that dressing room that don't even like him. So there's no togetherness in that squad.
I do understand that. So rather than me explaining my position, wouldn't you still rather Arsenal got rid of the worst players that you had and signed better players?
Yeah, 100%. But my issue is he going to get the best out? He's not going to get the best out of these players are going to get worse. Look at Partey, for example. He's an unbelievable player at Atletico Madrid. Look what's happened. Aubameyang, since Arteta's come in, he's gone terrible. Leno was very good under Emery. He's gone terrible. You know what I mean? And I want to say something about can I quickly say something about the Cronkies as well, please? Yep. So basically, yesterday we all heard the news that the bid got rejected, and I think that's probably the end of the story now. If you look at the statement, he was saying that if they're interested in sending, I'll do it. I'll purchase, try to bid again, but it seems like it's a dead story now. But my question is to Arsenal fans: do you really want him gone? Because they've released a new away kit, everyone's buying it. So really, you don't want him gone, do you? Because you're just buying all the new merchandise again. And the protests, no one's going to them. It's died down, but the protest is not the main thing. It's about buying stuff. There's going to be 10,000 seats full of fans at the Emirates against Brighton. People are buying all the away kits, retweeting it on social media. Do they really want him gone?
Well, do you know what, buddy? I've been asking this question for a good few weeks now, and I'm not trying to be salty. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any Arsenal fans or Man United fans or anybody that's protesting their owners, but I do hold the same level of interest to the question that you've just posed. How much do fans legitimately care about removing their owners in terms of what are their actions going to be outside of protesting? Will they buy kits? Will they boycott sponsors? Will they still, will they keep going to games or not? Either way, I'm not bothered, because people have got the right to behave in whichever which way they want. We live in that element of free society. However, I saw two people that have been pushing the Man United protest stuff recently, and then I see them in the separate tweets celebrating and going, "Oh God, I just bought this. It was like a new Man United jacket." So all I do is mute and unfollow those people, because I no longer I'm not interested in what you've got to say anymore, because you push one agenda and you do something different, and that's just my choice. I'm not going to call them out. I'm not going to call them names. I'm not going to create a beef or an issue, because I really ain't got time for that in my life. But I just stop listening to them. And that's what will happen. So it isn't about, I'm not naming any person. But you've got a really prominent Arsenal fan who's pushing Kroenke out, but then he buys the kits. Maybe he does like a video on YouTube where he's like doing an unboxing of the new kit. He's reviewing a new tracksuit. He buys the new cap. For me, people like that, they don't deserve any criticism. But what they will do is they will partly be partly responsible for just killing the momentum that's being created, because people just stop listening to them on certain issues. So I totally hear you, bro. Someone here says, Terry, say names. So there's no name to be said, because I'm giving on the Arsenal example, I'm giving a hypothetical example, and I'm not calling people out. It's not about that. And by the way, the Man United fan I mentioned who didn't want the players, a lot of you said, "Oh, it was rants and bants." It wasn't rants or bants who said that at all. So again, stop trying to create these fake weird beefs online and just listen to what I'm saying. I wasn't even having a pop at the person's opinion. My view is just this: whether you're Ollie in or Ollie out, you should want the best players possible at Manchester United. Because if Ollie gets sacked in December and a better manager comes in, you want the best available to carry your team forward. Daniel, great call, mate. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, buddy. Top man. Terry, are you scared of Liverpool getting top four in Sancho? I'm not scared of Liverpool getting top four. That would be a nonsense for me to be scared of Liverpool getting top four. Am I scared that they could take Sancho from us? Not right now. But if Man United drag our feet, they could take him away. And we need to manage that situation so much better. Terry, teams will hate Rashford left, Bruno in the 10, and Sancho on the right, Cavani up front. Oh, of course they will. Those four fit and fire in together. Martial coming into the fray, Greenwood, Pogba being involved, and Mad coming through. The signing of Sancho, would that be absolutely colossal? Next on the show, we're going to get Al on the show to have his say. Morning, Al. What do you want to say?
Hello, Terry.
Hi, how are you? Who do you support, buddy?
I support the biggest club in London.
Leyton Orient?
No, man. The club that's been a big club for 100 years. Won 5 titles in the 1930s.
Tell us.
I don't know, man. You don't know which club won 5 titles in the 1930s?
From London.
Yeah, from London.
To have won 5 titles in the 1930s, it can only be Arsenal.
Yeah, that team, yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you want to say?
First of all, Terry, I don't want to diss you, but you did look like a clown last summer talking about Sancho. Like, seriously, man. Like you did. Like every day you were going on, Sancho deal closed, personal terms agreed, Sancho's coming to United. Like, I don't know, it might happen again. I'm not sure. Like, seriously, like it might happen again. Like maybe United look like they're gonna get him, but someone might swoop in.
Absolutely. So again, do you know what it is? Listen, I respect your opinion and I respect you for calling in. 1 second, darling. 1 second, please. 1 second, darling. 1 second. Yeah. Was I being too loud? Okay, let's hear you. Sorry, I was a bit loud then. Sorry. I won't do it again. Okay. Listen, from my point of view, I report on what the media says. So 2 or 3 of the biggest journalists in the transfer spectrum have said the deal is closer than ever. So I'm reporting on what it is they have said. So if it doesn't happen, you may look at me and go, Terry's a clown because he did a video on it. I don't feel like that. I look at it. If I was coming on saying, I've spoken to my sources this morning at Man United and they've told me it's going to be done in 3 days, that's been putting my neck on the line. I report on what so I'll give you an example. The title of the show also says Willian is set to leave Arsenal. If Arsenal can't find a buyer for him, why would I feel like a clown?
Okay, Terry, one question. You get Sancho. Let's say you get Sancho, okay? Let's say you get Sancho. What's he gonna do for United? Like honestly, like what's he gonna do for United? I'm not gonna say you're like a really bad team, but look. You've spent. Only City has spent more than you in the last like 8 years. Only City has spent more than you. Yeah. City on January 1st were in 8th place, and they're gonna finish at least 10 points ahead of you. So like you understand, like if City didn't have this bad start, like okay, that's the first thing. City. Are you going to be on their level to compete for the Premier League? It's really difficult with just getting Sancho. So, like, one player is not going to make you compete for the Premier League. And second, Liverpool are going to be back to what they were like before this season. Like, they're going to be back. Like, they got 99 points last season. They're going to be back. So, they're going to be competing with City. And then Chelsea might spend like 200 million this summer. So, it's like, you get Sancho, okay, he's a great player, promising young player. He could be a great player, but like, will you really be competing for the Premier League with just Sancho?
Maybe not. Maybe not. I hear exactly what you're saying. But what's the alternative? Does that mean we shouldn't sign him?
I mean, I don't know.
So what
do you need a center back? Do you need a center back more than Sancho?
I want to put no, but it's not about needing more than another. We need a center. We need another centre back. There's no doubt about it. But we also need someone like right hand side of our attack. I feel like what happens to Man United is every 5 minutes the barometer gets changed around what the most important area for us is. The right hand side of our attack makes us imbalanced. It means we become very predictable, and we always attack down that left hand side primarily. That's statistically true and visually true. So that balance will make it harder to predict what we're doing. If we're harder to predict what we're doing, we won't get broken down as much or attacked as much, in my opinion. However, of course, we need other positions. I actually think to challenge for a title, we need a better manager as well. But let me throw this back at you here. Just because we won't challenge for the title, does that mean we shouldn't sign Sancho?
I know, but listen, I'm on your Discord, and I don't watch like a lot of United games, but on the Discord after United lose, it's always Fred McTominay. We can't get anywhere with these two. So maybe like your midfield is a better place to, to shore up, other than getting Sancho. Because like I swear, all the United fans on the Discord, always talking about how bad Fred and McTominay are, how bad Matic is. You know, I don't know, man.
But so why are you laboring under this illusion that just because Sancho is the first signing, that the
but he's an expensive signing. He's an expensive signing, and
that isn't the point I'm making. People have this weird notion that the person that you potentially sign first is your primary target, but football doesn't work in that way. The reason why Sancho can be potentially, if we are serious and we get this bid in when we need to, and I'm not confident our club will do that. I'm confident Ollie wants it, etc. But the reason this is going to be quicker and easier this year is because we spent a lot of last summer already negotiating. The deal was exceedingly close to happening last year. Man United just decided to stick to their guns, and Dortmund stuck to theirs at the same time. It was an immovable object meeting an unstoppable force, and it led to no transfer happening. It's quicker this year because of all the work that was done last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. You save 40 million. You save 40 million on him, right?
Yes, maybe a deal for Basuma, maybe a deal for Rice. I'm just throwing these names out there without thinking about the cost for a moment. Maybe these deals are going to take a hell of a lot longer. So just because Man United are getting Sancho done first doesn't mean we're not going to look elsewhere. Big report this morning that Man United are looking potentially at signing Sven Botman from Lille as an example, as a deal. So there are links to other players at the same time. So yeah, I understand your point. We need to fix other areas, but the notion of because in your opinion, a centre back's more important, we should sign a centre back before we sign Sancho. That's a crazy train of thought in my eyes.
I'm just saying what the United fans keep saying when you lose a game about what you need, what went wrong. That's what I'm just going by what United fans say. It's not my opinion. It's just what I hear United fans saying.
That's what I want from you. I want your opinion.
I mean, I don't follow United enough to know if you need a right winger more than someone in midfield, or you need, that I don't follow. Like I don't follow United enough to know like what piece is missing from your team.
We need all three. We need a new centre back, another midfielder, and we need someone on the right side of our attack. It's just as simple as that. The only thing being, we can't afford 3 players of Sancho's level in respective positions without selling someone. That's just the way it is. So the other areas will probably be more potential than well, I know Jadon Sancho's got a lot of potential as well, but he's delivering like an established star. That's why we're looking at the Botmans of this world and the Basumas of this world who are an echelon or 2 below that. So we'll see what happens, mate. But listen, I appreciate you coming on, getting involved. I also like you coming on and calling me out as well. I like somebody with a bit of guts about them as well. Top man.
Good, man. It's all good.
I know it is, mate. It's all gravy, baby. Listen, speak to you soon. Top man. Take care. Thank you.
Right, bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Listen, I want more of that. Come on and have a say. Listen, on the transfer zone, I never feel like a clown because it's not my report. The way I would explain we're a digital chat room, essentially. We're an aggregator. We get the news that's surrounding the industry and we talk about it. If we ever say it's our news, we've been told something, maybe. And also my opinion is my opinion. I thought Jadon Sancho would happen last year at one point. It didn't. Do I feel embarrassed? No. Just like not one bit. When I finish my stream, I get on my life. I don't think about it. It's all good. Next on the show, we're going to get Chelsea fan on. I don't know how to pronounce the name right. How you doing, buddy? How to say your name?
It's Zion, bro.
Zion, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. What are you here to say, buddy?
Just to say about the Sancho deal, I think it will happen this time round. I think it will because if the asking price is about 80 million, that's definitely going to happen because let's be real, last summer it was going to happen as well. Only issue was that United didn't pay Dortmund's asking price. United delayed it basically. So I think it will happen, and I think you need Sancho. Let's be real. I mean, most people are coming on here and saying that you don't need it. I think you do. You need that kind of width in the squad as well, squad depth. So he'll provide that, and he's an English player as well, and he wants to prove himself back in the Premier League because when he was at City, he wasn't. He didn't get the chance. Went to Dortmund, shown on the big stage that he can, match up with the big team. So, yeah, I think United will get him, and I'm confident about that as well.
Yeah, do you know what? I totally understand that Man United need some backup defensively, and we definitely need some more in midfield. There is no doubt about that. But I don't buy into this notion that we should just suddenly forget that we've had a weakness on the right-hand side of our attack for 11, 12 years. I think that would just be nonsense. And Rome wasn't also built in a day. There is this. I don't think there are very many Jadon Sancho level talents in the world.
No, he's one of a kind, isn't he? So it's just
and that's attainable for Man United. People have got to remember, depending on the next club he goes to, it could stop us signing him ever. You know, if he goes to a Liverpool, if he goes to a Bayern Munich, if he goes to a Real Madrid and delivers, it's almost impossible that he ever plays for our club. So I think it's important to secure him now, as it were. When you think about a lot of the centre backs and midfielders we're linked with, I don't necessarily look at any of them and think it's a foregone conclusion that we won't get him in a year's time, or maybe in January, as an example. So I agree with you. I still think it's the biggest priority at Manchester United, giving that balance to our team. And then it's that element of, you even look at it now, we've been forced to take Pogba out of the middle and put him into an attacking position because we haven't had the quality in those wide attacking positions. You suddenly throw a Jadon into that, Jadon on the right, Rashford on the left, you put Pogba in that midfield next to a Fred or next to a McTominay, and that midfield improves. You then throw a Basuma maybe in there, do Pogba and Basuma next to one another. It's absolutely gravy. And I just think, I do want a CDM, but I think people, what I notice with a lot of Man United fans is every 5 minutes they change their mind about what's most important, depending on a level of performance or two. You know, it was a few weeks ago where people are telling me Eric Bailly is better than Maguire, our best centre back. He's played 2 games in a week, and we desperately need a new centre back, don't we? So hang on a minute, like you change your tune like the British weather. It's crazy. In terms of the previous caller, you basically said that signing Sancho isn't going to make us a better team. Essentially, do you agree or disagree with that?
Nah, I don't agree with that. To be honest with you, I think United do need a couple of more signings, like a CDM, probably another centre back, in my opinion. But I think Sancho, I think you've been lacking that. In attack, you've been lacking that width. You don't have enough talent, coming off the bench. Even in the starting lineup, you have to, force Pogba on that left, and, just rotate around some players that, don't play in their natural positions. So I think bringing Sancho in will definitely help out Ollie. And I just think you need like another right, kind of winger, right side of winger, because I think since I can't really say, Ronaldo obviously played on the left, didn't he? So I don't really, I think he's that type of player that can, I think one move for Sancho now, in the summer, he's a player for the future. He's here for like another 5-6 years because he's very young. And obviously, I think in the Premier League, he can show to everyone that, so many teams have passed upon him. And, I'm just saying that he's a good player. And I think United will get him because I don't think any other club right now are looking at him. I mean, let's be real. Liverpool aren't going to get him because they've got to sell either Mane or Salah to get him. And Chelsea, we've got too many attackers on the wings. So it'll be very unlikely we'll get him. I mean, us being even in the shout for it, I don't believe that. But from Chelsea's point of view, we need a number 9. We need a striker. We need to be focusing on like a Haaland, a Lukaku, or someone like that. We don't need to be focused on Sancho because we don't need him. So,
mate, I think you've got a player that, if he's utilised right, could be every bit as talented in Hudson-Odoi. And this is why I'd be embarrassed if we didn't land Jadon Sancho, because everything points towards us. And imagine, I don't know. The way I feel about this is simple. If we listen to a lot of current Man United fans, but right, we're going to take that money and we're going to buy Declan Rice instead, and we're going to buy Varane. So we sign those 2 instead. I feel like we'd see Jadon Sancho arrive maybe this summer, maybe next summer, at one of our big rivals, and then he's going to kill it, and then they'll be outraged that we didn't sign him. And it's this element of, we're not going to sign every hole. We're not going to fix every hole at Man United maybe this summer. I still think it might take another 2 transfer windows to get that exactly how we want it. But there is definitely the room and the capacity financially to bring in Sancho, to get a good quality centre-back into that back line as well, and look at the midfield. There may be a sale that's needed to go along with that, but we will see. Listen, great call, mate. Really appreciate you coming on. Phone in again. Actually good to listen to you, mate. Speak to you soon. Take care, buddy. You. iTest is on the show with us now. iTest, morning. How are you?
Yes. I wanted to address the Sancho move, because for me, Sancho's a good player, but with all the transfer rumors that I'm hearing, it sounds like we don't have a proper plan. Because for me, Sancho isn't the priority, and a lot of Man United fans, they're not looking at the bigger picture. They're just looking at names, because I'm not hearing us being linked to any midfielders that we need. Like, we need the CDM, we need the controlling midfielder, because, and you see, I'm a Pogba fan, yeah, but I'm against the new contract, because I believe in a balanced midfield, and if we sign Paul Pogba, yeah, and we don't get a centre mid, yeah, that a controlling centre mid, someone that has good ball retention, that can control a midfield, and we keep Pogba and have Bruno and Pogba in the midfield, it's not, and we don't have a CDM, or proper CDM that could break up play. It's not a balanced midfield, because Pogba and Bruno, they don't control midfields. Both of them, they like to get assists, they like to get goals. I think we need to get someone like, what I would do personally is I wouldn't sign Paul Pogba up to a new deal. I would let him go. I'd sell him in the summer, yeah, and I would get someone like a Tielemans, because Tielemans can control the midfield, and then get someone, a CDM, a proper CDM like Declan Rice and Didi, someone that could break up play, because I believe in a balanced midfield, and I don't believe you could have a balanced midfield with a Bruno and Pogba. And with Sancho, I think he can play on the right, but when most of the time when I see him, he's best on the left, and he plays on the left most of the time. So I'm not sure if it's also balanced if we have two right-footed players, Rashford on the right, Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right, and our strikers right-footed as well. Where's the balance? You know, I'd rather get someone like a Ousmane Dembele who's both-footed. Yeah, he's both-footed. He doesn't have a stronger foot. I mean, he doesn't have a weaker foot. You know, he could play on both sides as well, left wing and right wing.
Do you know what? Look, sorry to interject. Your point about the midfield, I totally get, respect, and I understand. If you had the option now, Rice or Sancho this summer, because your point on Dembele, he's every bit as expensive. He's actually had a decent season, so I believe he hasn't had as many injuries. He's done quite well this year. That's what I was told. I'm not too sure. I haven't actually verified. That's basing it on a few things I've heard. I listened to someone on a stream the other day, and he mentioned Ousmane Dembele, and he's actually had a good season. Is that true?
Well, not in terms of considering that he's been out for a whole season, and this is his first season back after being out for a whole entire season. The previous season, he's had an okay season. Maybe not in terms of numbers. In the Champions League, the numbers have been very good, but in the league, the numbers not very. But he showed glimpses in the league, so I think next season he's going to be good.
11 goals, 5 assists. Yeah, average for overall. But he's still going to be very, very expensive. The point I'm making is, if Man United right now can't afford a Sancho and a Declan Rice, we can't also afford a Declan Rice and an Ousmane Dembele. If you had to prioritize right now, Declan Rice or Ndidi, or a Sancho or a Dembele in the attack, what one would you feel first?
I would rather get a Rice or a Ndidi than a Dembele or a Sancho, because I think the midfield needs more attention, because our midfield, it has no balance, because we don't have a proper CDM. McTominay and Fred, they're both box-to-box midfielders. That's why we have to play a double pivot, yeah, with two box-to-box midfielders. Bruno and Pogba, they're too similar, so we don't have a controlling midfielder. We don't have a controlling midfielder. We don't have a proper CDM. So I'd rather get a Declan Rice or a Ndidi, and also get a controlling midfielder, maybe Verratti, who can control the midfield, or Tielemans. So
yeah,
that's what I would.
The only problem about everyone you've named, barring Declan Rice, is they're just not like Verratti's not attainable. He's not available for Manchester United. So who else is there? Who out there in Europe? Who else is out there? Maybe a midfield player who's sort of legitimately gettable for Man United in those roles, in your opinion?
CDM.
Controlling midfielder. Who would be the controlling midfielder? Forget Verratti and forget Tielemans. Tielemans about to sign a new deal at Leicester. That isn't happening. Verratti isn't going to Manchester United. We don't have the money for him, and PSG don't want to sell him. So who else is there, in your opinion?
Well, it's a shame that Oli rejected Tielemans a couple years ago, because he was waiting for the move for 40 million. We could have got him. He was holding up on the Leicester move, but because he wanted to go to United, but Oli said nah. So it's a shame we didn't get him. But
okay, that's not
from
my
the top of my head. From the top of my head, I can't think of anyone at the moment. But that's a area that I'd like to look at.
Okay. And by the way, just on that, where did you read that Ollie said no?
Well, right, Tielemans, Manchester United, you could probably find it everywhere. Just on Google, Tielemans, Man United, you could find. Even Tielemans said that himself.
Where? Show me the quote.
Okay. Let me search up Tielemans and Man United.
I'm pulling your leg, bro. Listen, great call. Thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really, really appreciate that. I do. Everyone who's tuned in this morning or this afternoon, really, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is picking up pace as we speak. We're back later on today after the Liverpool games, plus much, much more. Until then, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.